meeting. This week is the 64th one, so kind of a lot. On the left side, what I'm showing is what we talked about last week, where we had the protobuf discussion and the optimization for protobuf. And I sent these notes and these little snips of the presentation by Petrosar or Z last week. And so it was a good hour-long conversation. And it looks like, over the last 7 days, there's been this one added here where added an Excel sheet for memory estimation. And then there was a merge. So that was number, I think it was 350. So wasn't sure if you guys saw all of that information happen in this PR. But all that stuff happened in the last few days. He did say that a diagram would be a whole nother thing, and they're still investigating the data flow. So that's where we are with this one. And it looks like we have some spell check that needs to be fixed. Is he on? He doesn't look like he's on. We can always help him with that. So it looks like he marked it ready for review an hour ago. So that would be from, I guess, Chris. Prince, do you need to review this? Do he and you work together, or is it Marian?
No, I think I already discussed separately with sir, so I'm aware of these changes. So I think it is better the community can review.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think Chris is.
Okay.
It's mainly
Great.
on the northbound side, right? So there's no change to the southbound.
Okay. So anyone else have questions or comments about this one?
Well, it looks like there's a merge conflict with another document. Probably needs to be resolved, right? Just due to parallel efforts.
Okay.
Message at the bottom means
Yeah.
two people were working on that file at the same time, and now this PR needs to catch up to it.
Does he just need to rebase or
Well, I think
resync
it would
with?
take. I would say probably needs to be looked at carefully by the author so that the resulting merge is what he wants, right? When you have two documents, especially document files like this, if you click resolve conflicts, you might get what you want, you might not. So,
Yeah, I have had that happen to me. It doesn't work for me.
yes, it's a roulette wheel. So
Yeah.
that's just a minor thing that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
The Excel, I would ask, is the Excel file, is that just basically the live spreadsheet that you'd done screenshots of in in the meeting, or is there any additional content in that spreadsheet that we want to get walked through?
Possibly we could ask him to do that when. Sorry, I'm trying to manage the call here. Is he on? I don't see him on, but we could ask him to do that. So I can make a note.
On what, Christina? I can follow up. I have meeting with Lisa in the evening.
What's that?
What's the ask? I can
Excel, a walkthrough of the Excel if we need it.
If there's anything in there that we want to walk through, since it's not a text file that we can just stare at in this meeting, sometimes it's nice to have someone walk us through if there's anything we should know. If not, that's fine. It's just a normal thing.
Okay. Maybe Chris, do you want to go take a peek at it and see if you can find it based on the conversation and see if we need a walkthrough?
Yeah, I mean, I can download it and try.
Here, okay, cool. Somebody, okay, great. Thank you. So we did that one. And then Reshma had just made a comment on 358. Maybe we could add a description paragraph. I don't know if that one was done, but let me look.
Christina, I had a generic suggestion as well for all the PRs. If we can add a paragraph of what the changes and why it is needed. Small paragraph for PRs, because here we don't have HLDs. We are normally in SONiC, we present the HLD and everybody contributes and suggests the changes. We go directly into the PRs without too much context. It will be difficult. Some description will help on the top.
Okay, got it. And then it looks like we went ahead and merged 336. And so this one, there were actually quite a few notes inside of it. I don't know if everybody saw the notes, so I'll just put it in front of us so we can all see it. And since it's merged, I'm not going to be able to find it.
You can click on closed.
Yeah, I know, but
Oh,
it's easier. Sorry, it's just easier for me anyway. Go to the end. And so this one. So Marian helped out here, provided some info, and then we had a little bit more information this last week, where you know, after considering it might be better to generate separate APIs for sourced index tags, allows the implementation to keep two tables, So that was kind of the last thing that happened in the last couple of days, and hopefully Z saw that, and then Marian approved the changes, and Prince merged. So. Any comments on that before we move on for today?
Yeah, there was a slight discrepancy between the tag. The tag has prefix, which is good. Basically, it's a list of prefix. Perfect. The previous, or the,
was it this one?
Yeah. The generation, at least I don't think things, I don't know that things will change. The generation for the all the way is still IP as opposed to prefix. Marian, is that something you could change? I don't know that they made it part of his change, though. I haven't checked that.
Right. And I did see that. I forgot to ask about it. Oh, sorry, Marian.
Which key are we talking about?
So if you take the ACL rule, before the ACL tag, you have IP destination and IP source, right? Those are not prefixes. They're just straight IPs, which they should be prefixes to start with, but they never were moved to prefixes. Now the tag, with the tag, we basically get a little prefix, so that's good. But I wonder if we could also correct the previous definition for the when we don't use tag to have prefixes as well.
I think they are prefixes. I will check, but they're supposed to be prefixes.
Well, I know they're supposed to, but currently they are not, right? So I don't know if they changed that in his PR or not, but they clearly were not prefixes. I mean, I'm showing that here, right? I mean, Christina is showing that here. If you could take a look, and it'd be nice to have prefixes there to make it.
And that's in this gray
consistent.
area here.
Right.
Oh,
Wish I
okay,
could
maybe was changed by this PR. Yeah.
At least they used to be listed prefix.
No, then they were never prefixes. They were supposed to, but they were never prefixes.
The latest version of Psi APIs has SIP and DIP as prefixes. If you look at the Psi master, which was generated from P4 code, so it had to be changed at some point.
So I'll verify that because I rebased a couple of weeks back, and it was still prefixes there. So I'll check back.
Did you enable the dash match define, by the way? Which is used for SCI API. There is a difference between APIs that are used for hardware SCI implementations and the API that was used for BMB2 for some time, and there was a define to separate those two, and it defines different match types for SIP and DIP.
So that could be, because I'm not sure I'm aware of that. Is that documented somewhere?
No, there is just a define in dash ACL that you need to enable.
Okay, so by default, it's not enabled.
By default, it's not.
Well, that would explain then. Okay. I mean, if it's a hidden compile file, it's going to be a problem for people because the SCI API then is not going to be consistent across vendors, right? I mean, I understand it may be a limitation on maybe the BMB2 model, but I think that's asking for confusion here.
Well, we had to be able to compile BMB2. I think we have overcome this issue. I'll need to check. Actually, Zoe was the one that was supposed to align those two. He was working on that, so I can check with him, and we can get rid of this define.
I'll be good. All right. In the meantime, I will check the define to see if I can move to prefix like transparently. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. And the last that I had was Vladimir had said there were a lot of for PR 346. There were a lot of changes in main SCI, the change packet test framework, and we needed some more time. This was a few days ago, and so Reshma, or is Vladimir here? I don't see him. It's probably late where he is. So Reshma, did you know anything about this one? Or anyone else?
There were
I'll
some lingering
check.
bugs that he was, test case was having issues. I think he has a comment there. Yeah. He just
Yeah.
needs to.
So he just needs more time.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Those are the updates to the open ones that I know about for the week. And then I hadn't really had a chance to look at new. So did anyone else have PRs they wanted to go over from this list? Oh, I
So
see some
Mariam, that
image.
one there, that top one, Mariam, that's just a spell check, right? Failure. You just need to put backticks around that keyword, I think.
Yeah, Chris, could you please explain how I add how I can add a custom keyword that won't fail the spell check anymore?
Well, yeah, just go to .wordlist.txt. It's
I think it's in the beginning here, right? It's word list.
yeah.
Where is it, Chris? It's right here.
.wordlist, yeah.
And then I think you add it in down here, just add it in the right spot.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, go ahead.
Other way,
I'll let you explain.
It's in the project root directory.
yes.
Yeah, that's where I
okay,
find it whenever I do it. That's where of course,
And
I'm not
also,
great at it.
If you put backticks around, like, a code snippet or something, it won't spell check that, I believe. So changes the style of the document. But in your table you added in your README, your list of keywords, you could put backticks around those too. That's another way. It'll ignore them.
Yeah, I understand. I think it'll still add it to the word list.
Yeah. Pretty soon the word list will be so long we can feed it into
Yeah.
chat BTP. It'll be its own intelligent thing.
Yeah, I was having problems because I kept editing this main one and then expecting it to be in my branch, and I still kept coming up with deltas, and it was driving me insane. And then finally figured it out.
It's all about context, right?
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's right there in the root. Anything else from the group here today? So we have Alberto, we got Kanan, Murcha, Prince, Shansu. Okay, so anything else from the rest of you guys? This is really all I had for today.
Yeah,
And I know
it's
it's
just
spring
one.
break week.
Yeah, Christina,
ahead.
one point I had that on
Mhm.
PR 336, there were some questions, there were some comments, and I'm hoping, you know, if we can get some clarification on those things.
Okay.
Christina just discussed that earlier. Okay.
Were there more comments other than the ones we just covered?
Yeah, this one, for example, you just passed by. The SVSHA Intel, if you go, yeah, this one.
Oh, here. Okay. Could you please have a scenario where how do you expect LPM match here to resolve and assign tags?
Do you
Okay.
want to describe it, Shitanshu?
Yeah, maybe describe it.
Yeah, so I think what we are saying is that currently the way the P4 definition for this is that there is LPM match on the destination prefix or source prefix and assign a tag, right? So that match has an assumption of one prefix matching and one tag assignment. So question was that if you can have a use case where there could be overlapping prefixes and each of them matching to a different tag, how to handle that scenario.
Okay, so I myself can't answer that, but anyone else on the call?
So current definition of table, at least, or maybe it's understanding from my side, that I don't see matching overlapping prefixes and possibly producing result for multiple tags. And I think Prince confirmed last time, right, that the use case, the scenario is valid, that this can very well happen.
Yeah, that's what I
Are these tags
mentioned.
purely control plane entities, or are they expected to be represented in the data plane in any way?
So from my understanding, it's represented in data plane as well, right?
Yeah, it can depend on the implementations, right? How they want to utilize this tag, but the idea is like it will be pushed to the southbound to the vendor implementations.
But is the tag effectively just a name for a list of source IP or dest IP prefixes, and that's it?
Yeah. And then that tag is used in different, like, ACL tables.
So it's just an indirection mechanism for the control plane to use to refer to the same list of source IP prefixes multiple times without repeating it.
That's right. That's the idea.
So maybe that is a good clarification that this represents only control plane, and then Prince, is your response that vendor can handle?
It is not only control plane, right? The tag is going to be pushed down into the data plane as well. But just as the previous conversation was that it is used as a name to represent some of the source dest addresses, but it is still a data plane.
I would clarify. It sounds like whether or not this tag is ever represented in the fast path is an implementation choice and need not be in the fast path at all. It sounds like.
If it is not represented in the data plane, then we will exhaust the number of prefixes, right?
That's up to us. That's up to implementers to get right or wrong. That's not the concern of the control plane APIs.
I mean, that is useful in that direction.
So it also like we definitely want to optimize from the data plane side as well, right? because if it's not optimized and if it uses the most part of the memory, right, by
Right.
repeating this utilization usage, then it is indeed a concern to the control plane as well.
So here's a question that would clarify it for me then. Suppose you've got a single dash ACL, one stage, and a list of source IP prefixes is given it, there's 1,000 source IP prefix list that's given the tag 57. And then there's 100 rules that have that 57 tag in the source IP. That's allowed?
Yeah.
Or that's disallowed? Okay, so that means that list of 1,000 source IP prefixes is in 1,000 rules by that indirection of using 57 as the. Now, the data plane, that there could be another source IP prefix list with tag 58 that has some of the same prefixes in it, right? But not all the same, not the identical list. So at data plane time, a source IP, a single packet could have a source IP prefixes that should get tag 57 and 58 logically, or it matches 57 and 58. Right? A single source IP prefix could be in tag list 57 and tag list 58, and so a single data packet. Yep.
Yeah.
So that could be an arbitrary number of tags that match this packet source IP prefix. As many as there are tags, potentially. True?
So far, so good, yeah.
So a data plane, a fast path that's tried to say, oh, I'm going to identify the full list of tags for this packet source IP prefix could come up with 1,000 tags or 10,000 tags that match that packet source IP address.
I mean, we have the scale limits in this PR,
but
how many tags, but potentially, okay, yeah, it is possible that a prefix can have multiple tags.
Well, the bottom line is that when you do a lookup, you can end up with different tags anyway, and there's no priority between tags. It's not rated at all. So I don't know how you're going to make your ACL rule match, but that's just me. In the data plane.
Sorry,
Okay.
I've forgotten when I got caught up. But if a data plane chooses to try to enumerate as an intermediate step of packet processing, oh, this packet source IP address matches these N source tags. That's an implementation choice, but an implementation need not do that. And probably shouldn't if it's going to go fast. But that's like implementation detail as far as Dash is concerned. Right?
Yeah, I think that part I agree. Like if the implementation doesn't utilize this tag, then it's up to.
Yeah, I think what Prince has added is something that will help you to, help with the implementation as well. So I don't see, I mean, I missed some of the conversation, but I don't know why we should not use this. And it is applicable to the data plane.
The tag will be in the control plane. Whether it's in the data plane is an implementer's choice.
That is a choice, but we would prefer to implement it in the data plane too, if possible, because it helps.
I question that assumption, but there are implementations that could use it. There's implementations that would be no help.
Of course, got it. Sure, we can discuss that whether we can use it not. But here the overlapping prefixes will end up getting the another tag, right?
A single packet could have a source IP address that matches 1,000 tags, or 2, or none.
A tag is just a list of prefix.
Yep.
Tag lists have, I mean, tag 1, tag 2, tag n, they have no relationship whatsoever.
They could overlap arbitrarily in their prefix
Absolutely.
list. Yep.
As a matter, especially because they're prefix. So, I mean, you could have a tag that just is a catch-all, /0.
Yep. Oh, I've been pushing in talking to implementers about this. I have been stressing these facts repeatedly. So you're just preaching to my choir. That's what makes the problem difficult in the data plane.
I mean, the API is flexible enough for you to do whatever you want. I mean, control plane has that data. Whether or not you want to use it in the data plane, it's up to you. Implementation. So.
Yeah. But any fast path implementation that assumes that a packet source IP will match only one tag is wrong.
No, that's definitely wrong. But I think here the idea is like if we give, so in this example above also, like prefix ABC belongs to tag 1 and CDE belongs to tag 2, and now C is prefix C has both tag 1 and tag 2, right? So when a packet comes with C, that then if the implementation can use some bit vector or something like that to specify that it is tag 1 and tag 2, and then the ACL rules can be matched against that bitmap, right? So all those things can be
right. But any implementation that uses a bit vector for that needs to know how many tags there can be and allow the bit vector to be long enough to handle
right, and that's why we gave the scale numbers, right? In the,
yeah, but that's a big bit vector, right? It's hundreds of bits.
I'm just telling like how it can the data plane can also potentially utilize this to optimize their implementations, right? Instead of
but it's a data plane choice. It needs to do the correct thing, and it needs to understand.
Of course, it's a data plane choice, but the problem is when we have like these kinds of scaled ACL rules, and if the data plane implementation is not optimal, and we see that okay, it's taking 90% of the memory for just this ACL, that's not right. That's where control plane.
There are many trade-offs in implementing a data plane that implements these rule matching correctly, and there's not just one way to do it.
Of course. So as long as the implementation can confirm that it's optimized, and
there's many correct ways, and there's 1,000 times more wrong ways to do it.
But at the end of the day, the vendor controls its own control plane anyway below the side API, and it controls its data plane. So the vendor will do whatever he can.
Yep.
It's too bad though that we don't have a capability database overall. I mean, it's not the first time that I think a capability database would be nice.
Yeah, but I think this is more of a
what
optimization
database?
shift.
What database, Vincent?
Capability database.
Oh, capability database. Okay, we talked about that. What were you saying, Prince?
No, I'm saying like this is more of an optimization choice, right? Like
yeah, I mean, this sounds good. I think I got the clarification I really wanted. Thanks, guys. So this
was there another one you had in here?
The other one is more of probably just wordings.
Okay, let's
find
it.
Yeah, I think you just passed the other one.
What does it mean by match on all source tag or no tag?
I think this was clarified that it's not like matching all source tags, but it's matching any source tag or no tag. So it's just.
Yeah, we got that. So hopefully someone will reword that for us. Okay. And I'll make a note. I can always put a suggestion in the PR. And then was there something else? I'm sorry.
This is all I had.
That was it? Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Yeah, no problem. And then I see Vladimir here. Vladimir, did you want to chat about 346 or are we done?
Yeah, could I please open it?
Yeah, I'll open it here. I just gotta get to it. That's not right. And
yeah, so this pull request still need more changes from the side repo, because like a lot of changes has been done into the side repo, into the side PTF test cases recently. So some stuff needs to be resolved on the side repo first, and then we can come back to this pull request. So we can roll this pull request into the pending state or something like this.
Oh, I see. So Vladimir, is this pending on the fix that's yet to be made in Psi, which broke the dash PTF?
Yeah, mainly this one.
Oh, okay.
So
We're thinking
it
like
requires some time.
end of April or something, Vladimir.
There was a change that went into Psi that sort of broke the auto-generated framework changes for flexible number of ports. We are trying to see how to fix that. I think that actually
So should we wait like till the end of the month and check back on this one, maybe, Vladimir?
sure.
Yeah, like this.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll try to prioritize fixing that defect.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. And so that's what I have for today, unless you guys have anything else. I don't know if it's spring break where you guys are.
For me, it's next week.
Oh, it's next week.
But
Okay.
a lot of folks have it this week, you're right.
Yeah, I don't know who has it this. I don't have kids, so I don't really keep track of that. And so if there's any time where there's family or other commitments, just let me know and I can shift the dash schedule around. So just let me know. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
Well, then if we're finished, I can go ahead and end the call. I do have a contact who has some ideas about HA, and so we may have an HA work group either this coming Tuesday or the one after that. Just FYI to you guys here on the call who are also involved in HA. No promises quite yet, but I do have a contributor who's thinking about contributing, their ideas. Okay, well, that's all I have. Thank you for coming. I'll send out the notes and everything like normal.
Thanks, Christina.
All right. Y'all
nice
have a
day.
good day. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.